Something special, man. I let my watch talk for me, my whip talk for me. Bow. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Had to make this follow-up video. Now, I touched on this when 50 Cent, 50, when he threw that whack-ass, like crazy-ass, wild-ass pitch for the New York Mets. I talked about it way back then when I did that video. And some things came up, and I want to talk about it again. It's my channel, so I'm going to talk about it. I want to talk about 50 Cent and SMS promotions. Now, I follow social media. I have a Twitter, the Instagram, the whole 9 yards. And 50 Cent has been doing a lot of promoting for things, and that's great. But guess what? None of those fucking things have anything to do with boxing. Now, when 50 first announced that he was coming into the game, me knowing that 50 Cent is a hell of a business person, he's a person from Southside Jamaica, Queens, and he hustled the industry and put himself in the position that he's in today. And I respect that. I respect anyone who can hustle, who can come from the bottom and make it out. And, you know what I mean, make it in corporate America. You have to have a level of confidence, a level of business sense, or whatever you want to call it. And I was actually excited. I was like, damn, 50, he was cool with Floyd Mayweather, so he probably learned some things, some tips and tricks just being around the Mayweather gym, seeing how Mayweather did with his Mayweather promotion fighters, whatever, womp to womp. And I was excited for it. But since then, not so much. And that's because 50's stable. Not that he just has straight scrubs, but his best, most prominent fighters are not fucking fighting. And they're not fighting routinely enough for my liking. Huge boxing fan. I like a couple of his fighters. Yuriorkis Gamboa, very athletic. At one point when he came in the gates, they were calling him the Baby Tyson. He's entertaining. He has an entertaining style. You have Andre Darrell, a guy who I think beat Carl Froch, was robbed because he was overseas. He's a guy that's been in the ring in the amateurs with Gennady Golovkin. He lost to Golovkin, but those fights can be made later on, like a rematch. You got guys like James Kirkland. I don't even really have to say, just type in James Kirkland to YouTube, see what the fuck kind of videos come out. All Out Wars, him and Angulo, him and Glenn Tapia, him training with Ann Wolf. You're going to see very entertaining. He has an entertaining style. It's relentless. It's a pressure style. It's exciting. It's easy on the eyes. You don't have to watch it unfold and the sweet science and stuff. And I like the sweet science, but I also like, I'm a boxing fan. So if you're Mike Tyson, brute force and knocking motherfuckers out, Tyson was my favorite. So if you're a James Kirkland, you just come and it's money. And I know every time I watch James Kirkland that it's going to be an all-out war. If he's mentally stable or whatever, then perfect. But I also like fighters like Rigondeaux or whatnot who systematically break down and make their opponents gunshot. I just like the whole 9 yards. Anyway, 50 Cent, I enjoy his stable, and I'm not seeing enough of him. That's why it led me to make this. And shout out to James Kirkland and shout out to Andre Darrell, just for, who says boxers don't have a sense of humor, just for having a sense of humor. James Kirkland liked the picture that I did that I posted on my Instagram, and then Andre Darrell started following me. So shout out to them. Hopefully I get to work with them in the future. But I made this. This is a movie from the 80s, one of my favorite vampire movies, The Lost Boys, classic Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Haim. Great flick. And that's what 50 Stable is to me. The fucking Lost Boys. They're vampires. You don't see them in the daytime. You don't hear. And the reason they're the Lost Boys is because they're inactive. I don't see them. Like, even, I'm not even talking about seeing them in the ring, like on HBO or whatever. I don't see these motherfuckers at all. And I follow them on social media. I'm talking about, you go to one of the big boxing channels and look at interviews. There's been, like, let's say Robert Guerrero, he disappeared for 13 months, but I still seen some things here and there, like him at a autograph signing or him doing this. I don't really hear from Gamboa. I don't hear from Darrell. I don't see no fresh new interviews. And I have my boxing networks run deep. I'm subscribed to a lot of channels. I know a lot of the guys. Shout out to Chris Robinson, Ellie Seckback, all that. And I don't really see much coverage on them. So to me, it seems like 50's priorities are completely ass backwards. And again, I respect 50's hustle, but I myself wear a lot of hats. I am a video director. I edit. I do the boxing shit. I work. I have a girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wear a lot of hats myself, but you have to be able to juggle it, balance it, get someone to help you out, leverage everything, just so anything you put your name on it, you should be confident in that product. And if you can't, then maybe you should withdraw your name from that. And with 50, I'm seeing G-Unit reunions, which is good because I like G-Unit and I'm a fan of music and I like their first album and shit. But what about boxing? What about your stable of fighters? Same thing with he has this new show on Stars or whatever called Power. You acting, you reuniting G-Unit minus the game. That's cool. But what about SMS promotion? What are your fighters doing? They're just starving, staying stagnant. And again, 50, he can navigate through the industry. Not everyone moves like you. Some of these fighters, they don't have nothing. The only thing they have is the fight game. They know how to scrap. They don't have education or the business sense. And that's the thing that pisses me off, because 50, he's pretty much going to be good, I think. I mean, he can make movies, he can make music, he can dabble in executive producing TV shows and vitamin water, all kinds of shit like that. But these fighters, they don't have that. This is their livelihood. This is their bread and butter. This is how they make a fucking living. And 50's just like really stalling them out. He's stalling their careers. And I have no beef with 50. I like 50. I like his music. Wish the brother well. But it's sad to see the talent that he has that he's really sitting on. You know what I mean? Andre Durrell should be in talks to rematch Carl Froch, who just beat George Groves. He should be in talks to fight Andre Ward, who's running out of opponents and been inactive himself. You got guys like James Kirkland. Everybody in the fucking world is more active. How did James Kirkland come off of a long layoff, beat the shit out of Glenn Tapia, weather the early storm? It was a great fight. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. But beat the shit out of Glenn Tapia in those later rounds. That shit should have been stopped. And Glenn Tapia already made his return back to the ring. He got with Freddie Roach linked up, and he's already made his return. I think he fought the Miguel Cotto night, and he had a first round knockout or whatever. So how is the loser who got battered already back in the ring working towards his career and, like, you know what I mean, staying fresh, staying active? And he lost. He got beat down. He took a L. James Kirkland, you supposed to be in the picture with the Gennady Golovkins. Fuck Daniel Gill. Who in their right mind would rather see Daniel Gill and Gennady Golovkin as opposed to James Kirkland and Gennady Golovkin? Or James Kirkland, Peter Quillen, James Kirkland, Danny Jacobs, James Kirkland, David Lemieux, fucking Curtis Stevens. Any of those fights, if he wants to move up, depending on what weight he wants to do. Rematch with Carlos Molina, who's a title holder. K9's getting that shot. It's like people are petitioning, moving their careers forward, and getting in where they fit in. And you got guys like Durrell, Kirkland, who are just doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? They're literally doing nothing in terms of their career. I don't see them. I don't hear interviews. Yuriorkis Gamboa finally recently broke his little slump or whatever you want to call it. He's fighting Terrence Crawford. Great fight. Looking forward to that fight. But I don't know. It's just risky, man, especially in the fight game. You don't want to be stagnant for 15 months, 13 months. That shit takes its toll. This is supposed to be your prime. This is supposed to be Durrell's prime years, where if you look at other guys like Tommy the Hitman Hearns or whoever, these are some of their prime years, like where they're in their mid to early 30s or mid 20s to early 30s or whatever, and they're supposed to be flourishing, not being stagnant. It'd be one thing if Durrell was injured all the time and had to have a surgery, or James Kirkland was hurt. These motherfuckers, to my knowledge, aren't hurt. It's not like Andre Ward, who took a hiatus and is suing his promotional company. So I really don't see the justification why these guys are not back in the ring. Again, shout out to Andre Darrell, shout out to James Kirkland, shout out to Even 50. I'm just venting. I'm letting you know my opinion. I want to see these guys back in the ring, and that's all this video is about, and that's what it boils down to. Let me know what you guys think. 50 Cent stable SMS promotion. Who do you want to see? What matchups? Make sure you like the video. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video. It's Ego signing off.